Alright everyone, so the brand new Apex Legends Season 12 actual patch notes have just released. I've been playing a lot of Apex. I know I've not been making a lot of content on it. There's a good reason for that. I just really did not like Season 10 and 11. I felt like their content was extremely dry. I mean, the additions of the car and the Rampage were pretty nice, but other than that, I haven't touched Seer or Ash since the actual seasons for them have released. I haven't played Seer at all in Season 11, and if you want me to show you my stats for the Legends, I gladly will, just to prove my point. So today I wanted to talk about the patch notes that literally just released today, as well as the Battle Pass trailer. I'll leave a link down below to Candy Rue's video where he actually talks about the Battle Pass, because he's actually got gameplay of it. I'm not going to steal his content, but what I'm going to do right now is actually take a look at what is to come for Season 12. So without further ado, let's take a look. So first off, we know that Maggie is going to be the new legend, as I said in my What's to Come for Season 12 video. But the passive is going to be where she highlights enemies that you've damaged. And there's a movement speed penalty when wielding shotguns. No movement speed penalty. Which, honestly, I think is really cool. So basically, run at the speed you have with your fists out. That's what they're hinting at. That's what is supposed to happen. So it's not going to be like Octane speeds. It's just going to be like normal when you have your fist out speeds. Now, I feel like this is overall pretty balanced in terms of the shotgun part, but highlighting enemies, it depends on how long you highlight them for. Because if you're highlighting them for a Bloodhound length amount of time after you've stopped damaging them, that's pretty fair. But if you're highlighting them for a Seer length amount, that's going to be pretty broken, especially because people like Mirage, their bamboozles only ping, not even highlights them. Now the Riot Drill, I feel like this is actually going to be pretty balanced in terms of everything, because Gibraltar is extremely overpowered, especially in a ranked scenario, so to have a counter to Gibraltar is pretty good. I feel like overall it's just supposed to stop the anti-camp meta, and I don't think it's going to be too broken in a sense, especially because it's not like a Thermite where the effects last, and it only does up to 160 damage, so if you're a full red Evo, you won't go down. But next up, we have her ultimate. It's the Wrecking Ball, where you throw a ball that releases a speed boosting pad and detonates near enemies. I think that overall, this is really cool, how basically you follow the Wrecking Ball and it'll damage any enemies, so you can just go in. And if you pair it with an Octane, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just meta changing, because Octane is really part of the meta right now. Like, just imagine the different possibilities that Maggie can have paired with people like, for instance, Octane, or Seer, Bloodhound, even Revenant. So let's talk about control now. I think that overall this is cool because it takes a battlefield approach to what is Apex Legends, and from what I've seen, it looks to be doing a lot. And so I hope that they keep this up. Like, from what I've heard, it's going to be absolutely amazing. So I'm really excited for this control mode. I'm not sure if it's going to be my favorite mode. I still may enjoy traditional Battle Royale, but this is a nice little mode to fall back on, especially if you're willing to just chill with people. My only major complaint is that you can't have 9 people in a party, and it's confirmed that you'll just be paired up with 2 other squads of 3. And I think that's upsetting, because one of the biggest problems with Apex is the fact that you don't have enough people that you can play with. As in, you have too many. There's not enough slots. So that way, you're always left with like 1 or 2 people who are just unable to play, and that's why a bunch of my friends have been playing R6, because 5 is the perfect number, and that's why I haven't been playing as much Extraction as I should, because Extraction is 3 players. So if you have a stack that consistently gets on, 2 of those people are going to be left out. So that's kind of why Apex needs to up the ante on how many people can be in a single party at once. And I think that this is a step in the right direction for the most part. Now let's talk about the rewards. The rewards are just going to be the 3rd anniversary reward, so you should expect 17 packs, 2 of which are anniversary packs, 5 are normal packs, 9 are split between 3 thematic packs, aka 3 Octane, 3 Watson, and 3 Valkyrie, as well as the Legends. If you don't have them, I have all of them, so that doesn't apply to me. But if you log on to get Valkyries, you're going to get a nice legendary reward, and I think that is really, really sweet, because, I mean, as a person who plays Apex a ton, the amount of legendaries that I don't have is surprising. So, hopefully I can get a nice gun skin and not a fucking emote of all things, or a finisher for a legend I don't even use. Like, just imagine that. Your legendary pack, you get the fucking Bangalore bobblehead charm. I hope that's not the case, but I'm pretty lucky so far. I mean, my thematic packs were pretty good, so I hope that I get something good out of this pack. And let me know what you get out of your thematic packs tomorrow, or actually when you could actually get the packs from February 22nd to March 1st. So be sure to log on for then, because you definitely don't want to miss these rewards. Now, in terms of Olympus, it's getting the map change this season, and there's a lot. Someone's hacked into Olympus Phase Runner, and so it's just expanded, a lot of expanded area, which I feel like is a problem, especially with 60-player maps. Like, we all know how boring Stormpoint can be, especially with how massive the map is. It's 15% larger than the actual biggest map, the previous biggest map, which is World's Edge. And so I'm really worried with how this is going to turn out. But hopefully they find a way to make it work and make it at least a little bit anxious. Like, you don't want to be overwhelmed with fights, but you also want to be able to like get into a fight when you want to get into a fight and not have a lot of waiting around, which is the major problem with both World's Edge and, of course, Stormpoint, unless you land at the very crowded POIs. Now, of course, we're getting a wildlife update in Stormpoint, and it's been a full season since the Prowlers have actually been introduced, like, as a major part of Stormpoint. And actually, here's the thing. There have been Prowlers introduced, but only as part of the Bloodhound trials, which was fine. Most people don't land trials, they'll either land either Fragment or Big Mod. But the problem is, in the direct center of the map, you have Jurassic Park, which is just Prowlers on top of Prowlers. You do not get a break, they are overpowered. So thank God they are just reducing the amount of damage you take. And thank God you'll get 150 crafting materials for Stormpoint. Overall, I really hope that they make some form of map change to Stormpoint, because as much as I love Olympus, I'd like at least something new within Stormpoint. They just feel like generic landing locations that we've seen all the time throughout the other maps. Sorry about that. Just got an ad. Now, in terms of the wildlife update, they're just going to overhaul the targeting rules. So hopefully you're not going to be in your face, especially if you're in a fight. And only 3 Prowlers will be able to target a player at a time, which thank God, because you won't have a second to heal, and most times on Stormpoint, you can't get a 20 bomb or a 4K because everyone's dying to the Prowlers because they have to rotate through Jurassic Park. So hopefully this will be fixed. The spiders I don't see a major problem with, because the spiders are actually normal enemies. Like, you have to trigger them in order for them to spawn. Prowlers, they'll be in your face. Doesn't matter if you've looked them dead in the eye or if you haven't even acknowledged their existence. They will absolutely destroy you. So hopefully we'll be able to get at least a little bit less deaths because of the Prowlers. Now, the Dropship Pathing. Holy shit. 400 dropship simulations. Oh my God. What is this image? Like, I don't even see a major change. I mean, I guess there's like a lot more dropships will actually spawn over here and here, which I think is good. It's more variety, but 400. Like, that's crazy. 400. Yeah. Miscellaneous changes. The wildlife combat versus vehicles, good. And the wildlife interactions versus electrical abilities. So Watson's fences and Ash's tactical. I tried to say fences and Ash. Fashes. Now, ranked update. Ooh. They've lowered this. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, I'm not complaining, but it's just going to be like less fighting now. And so hopefully this will speed up the end game. So it's like you don't need to go for kills after you get a certain amount. So it's like you're going to play a bit more passive for the actual placement points, which I think is good. And then, of course, thank God, Olympus is going to be split 1. I loved Olympus ranked. It's actually where I got my first ever 2K badge on Pathfinder, so I'm happy with that. And then King's Canyon for split 2. Thank God. I really like this. It's solid. I think that they should do Olympus more in the ranked scenario. I think the Olympus is the best map. It's not big, it's not massive, but it's good enough to the point where you can get a bunch of fights going. It was just a lot. Communication feature, no one cares. But crypto, thank God crypto is getting a massive buff, because this was just upsetting. Like, how unplayable Crypto was because of how boring he was. Like, as a Rainbow Six player who drones all the time, Crypto is not my playstyle. Like, that's coming from an R6 player. So, thank God that Crypto is going to be getting this change where you can just throw him out. I'm also happy that he's a lot more mobile. But hopefully, like, they do a little more, like, if this is underwhelming. I'm not sure if it will be, because it's like, sure, you could just throw out the Crypto drone, but, like, how far will it go? You know, like, will it go very far, or will it just go, like, right in front of you? Because at that point, it's just near useless. Like, I've seen gameplay of Macro. He threw it out. It wasn't far. It was, like, 5 feet in front of you. So, hopefully, that was just him not knowing how to use the ability. I have to try these out once the season actually launches tomorrow, but hopefully it's not terrible. Oh yeah, and then Caustic's getting a nerf, 150 health per trap, which I don't think is bad. Will expire in 11 seconds. I mean, yeah, fine. Like, Caustic can feel scary at times, I get that. I don't think he's busted. Like, I think there are more busted legends in the game, one of those being Gibraltar, as I said, but of course he's getting an indirect nerf next season, so he shouldn't be too bad. I think that overall, I like the idea of being able to have them destroyed after detonation, but I feel like 200 might be the max. Like, Octane's jump pad has like 200 health to it. Like, most times you can't even one mag an Octane pad. So, I hope that they buff the health, but it should be good for now. Ooh, okay. So, they won't go away as soon as you destroy it. That's good. So, he's not getting a full nerf. Ooh, and then the Alternator and Volt are swapping. Of course, I'm really excited for this. And then Volt's getting a 30 mag size with 17 damage. That's going to be busted. Alternator, move Disruptor rounds. That's fine. It's going in as floor loot now. I do like Disruptor rounds. I hope they turn, like fully return as ground loot, because Alternator was the only gun that had that sort of feature. But that begs the question, will the Volt be like the new Alternator, or will it just feel like a not really broken gun? Because it's not getting any hop-ups on it, like, at all. So I'm really worried to see how that works with the Volt. Like, I don't want it to be broken like Spitfire broken, but I also want it to be a balanced and decent gun to use, not one that you just throw away, like, for instance, the G7. So I'm really excited for the kinetic feeder to happen, because it's like, I always hate having to scope in to charge it and choke it. And hopefully this makes the Peacekeeper, I mean, both Peacekeeper and Triple Take are amazing guns, but it's like, waiting for it to charge, especially if you're in a close quarters fight, is not very fun. So hopefully, yeah, this Connect figure isn't too overpowered. It seems balanced from what I can tell, but the hammer points, on the other hand, that ain't going to be busted. That, or what am I saying? Of course it is. P2020, Mozam, RE45, they're all going to be the guns that we use. Like, some of the worst guns are slowly but surely about to become the best guns in the game, and I'm excited for that. I think the RE45 is going to need a massive damage nerf after this, because hammer points are going to be a bit broken on the RE. I can see it on the P20 and Mozam, because it's like, they are single tap guns, like you have to press the trigger, or not the Mozam, just the P2020, you have to spam the trigger in order to get the damage out. So, like, I see it balanced with these, I don't see it balanced with the RE at all. And then Shatter Caps passively affects hipfire for both weapons. So thank God Shatter Caps is back. And it's going to be so that way I don't have to worry about choosing between dual shell or Shatter Caps for the 30-30. Thank God. 30-30 finally about to become more viable. And no longer able to toggle on or off. That's kind of rough. So basically, it's only going to be a shotgun with Shatter Caps if you're ADSing with it. If you're not ADSing, if you're hip firing. And then ADSing will just force it to be normal. So I think that's really good. I think that overall this will make both of these guns more viable. I'm really excited for this season. And then damage reduce. to 20 to 21. I don't see a massive change with that. I think I just see overall nothing really happening with that. I think the triple take's gonna pretty much stay the same performing. It might go down a little bit in pick rate, but I don't see it changing much. And then the flatline is going to get 18 per bullet. So that means that the R3 is now going to be better than the flatline. So what's the point of actually using the flatline anymore? Like, I hope they revert this nerf, because that means that what's the point of crafting the flatline? Unless you don't have an R3 yet, which R3s are very common. I find one on drop majority of the time. And then the Rampage is getting a fix. It's going to be 26 rather than 28 damage. And then the number of shots during the rev stage is going to be 34 rather than 40. So you can't use a full mag of the Rampage, which honestly I'm not mad at. I hope that they have it like so that way they reduce the amount of time it takes to charge it, because it's always inaccurate. Like, whenever I'm loading it, I see the timer go down and I scope in to shoot, and it stops the thing. Like, I wish that they made it at least accurate so I know when I can actually start scoping in and firing, because it upsets me. It really upsets me when that happens. Ooh, and then fully kitted rotation. I am not liking this, because these are the weapons that are going to be like through Big Mod, basically. Oh, wait, Big Mod's not even in this for this season. So these are the guns that you can find at Fight Night. So the RE, which honestly I think is going to be a really solid gun, especially fully kitted. So Fight Night's going to be popular just to get that gun. Triple take and PK, yeah, I can see that as well. Prowler not so much, but yes, Havoc. It's like, the problem is, I feel like a lot of people haven't been using Prowler because of the fact that it's no longer a fully auto ever since it got taken out of care package. So I hope that we get select fire again someday in a much nerfed state, because I don't want the Prowler to be absolutely busted again. And then they removed the current rotation, which, I mean, I guess I'm fine with. I'm gonna miss the R301 being gold, because I love the R3. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm just a fanboy for the R3. So this is gonna hurt a little bit, but it is what it is. And then weapons and crafting, we now know that. The flatline and the longbow, 30 mats at a crafting station. I highly doubt anyone's going to make these. I highly doubt it at all. Like, it just seems like a waste of time. I get they're trying to update the loot pool, but what I feel like should happen is that you should spawn in with like a P2020, so you reduce what's in the crafting. Because I feel like, yeah, it can be a little annoying when it's like all these weapons are getting added and most of them are useless at that point. Like, I get it, no one wants to use a bow, but then just make it so that way they spawn in with a gun, so that way then it's like, if you want to get rid of it, fine, but expect to not get it again for the rest of the game. That way the loot pool is a little more evenly distributed. And the problem is as well, they sell skins for the guns, so if you paid for a skin and then they take it out of the game, like, you just wasted your money. And so it's hard to do it with these. Like, Fortnite does it where you only get skins for the class of gun, and all the guns are available in creative. So it does make it easier for games like Fortnite to rotate what's in the loot pool, because they can just vault guns whenever they want, because it's not like they have specific skins for the guns. And then crafting, medkits are finally 15 points, thank God. Then kinetic feeder is added to the rotation. I'm fine with that. We need more hop-ups in the crafting rotation. And then bug fixes and quality of life, no one cares about these. Add the ability to see your teammates' survival item. Oh, wow! That's actually really helpful. Not really, but if you need information, thank God you have information now. Yes! Oh my God, thank God. Wraith mains, you are really not gonna like this update. Thank fucking God we got this change. It's perfection. Anyone with a brain will know that. I say that because Wraith mains don't have a brain. And those are the patch notes. That's really it. It sucks that there's no new weapon this season, but I'm fine with that. What we're getting this season is plenty. So yeah, let me know down below. What are you guys' thoughts on the new season? Are you guys excited for it? Let me know down below. I'm really excited for it. I hope that it comes to be a 10 out of 10. We're supposed to get the anniversary event starting tomorrow as well, so expect money to be dropped on that event. No, I'm kidding. I'm not dropping money on the event. I'm just gonna drop some crafting materials because there's no way I'm spending 160 bucks on a Bloodhound skin. No point. So that was my list. Let me know down below if you enjoyed it. And that was the list of all the patch notes. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.